Alright, so crispy fried mashed potatoes and gooey, melty cheese. Do I need to say more? Hotteok is a very popular Korean street food. It comes in all different forms, from a sweet sugar filling to a savory meat and vegetable. But since I'm Canadian and our unofficial national dish is the poutine, my favorite is filled with melty, stringy cheese. They're also a great way to use up leftover mashed potatoes you may have kicking around in the fridge. Exact measurements will be in the description, and if you're into learning modern Korean food, consider subscribing. I release new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. And with all that being said, let's make some potato cheese pancakes. You're gonna want a starchy potato for this, so Yukon Golds will be your best bet, but russets will work too. Peel the potatoes and roughly cut them up into 1-inch chunks. Don't go too small, as the smaller you go, the more water they retain. Place them in a large pot covered in cold water and bring them to a boil over high heat. Cook until tender enough that they fall off a knife when pierced, then strain and place them in a large mixing bowl. To that, add 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, half a teaspoon of white pepper, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Then, using the weapon of your choice, mash the living crap out of it until nice and smooth. Now traditionally, you'd use rice flour as a binder, but since I'm anything but traditional, I like using potato starch. That way all you taste is potato. But if you're unable to get any, cornstarch or all-purpose flour will work too. Add 2 tablespoons of potato starch and thoroughly mix until well incorporated and a smooth dough forms. You can use any cheese for this, but mozzarella is best just because of its stringiness. Take a small amount of the dough, a little bit bigger than the size of a golf ball, and work it in your hands to form a smooth ball. Then flatten it out and make an indentation in the center for the cheese. Place a small amount of cheese in the center. Don't put too much or you'll have a hard time closing it up. Gently squeeze it into a taco shape and begin to fold the sides around while pushing the cheese down inside. Then pinch the seam closed. Once it's sealed, gently reshape it into a flat round puck about 1 inch thick. Meanwhile, in a small bowl, combine 3 tablespoons of gochujang, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of minced ginger, 1 teaspoon of mirin, 1.5 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. This is called Chojang and is almost like a spicy Korean ketchup. Give it a good stir and set aside. Now, in addition to the classic pan fry method for this, we'll also be doing a super crispy deep fried version. So we'll need to set up a breading station consisting of flour, eggs, and panko breadcrumbs. Carefully dredge the pancakes in flour, then the eggs, and then the panko. To stop clumps from forming, use 1 hand for the dry ingredients and 1 for the wet. Heat a large pan on medium-high heat and add enough neutral cooking oil to cover the bottom of the pan. Then add the unbreaded pancakes. Press down on them gently and turn the heat down to medium-low. Continue frying until they're crispy and golden brown, about 3 to 4 minutes per side. Once done, place them on a pan lined with paper towel. This OG version is soft, tender, and a little bit crispy. But if you're like me and like your stuff so crunchy the neighbors can hear it, heat a large pot with about 2 inches of neutral cooking oil to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then carefully add the breaded pancakes, placing them away from you to avoid splashing. Continue to fry until nice and golden brown, making sure to flip often, about 4 to 5 minutes. Place them on a resting rack to allow any excess oil to drain off. This will make them even crispier. And that's it! Korean potato cheese pancakes, done 2 ways. Serve them up with the Chojang dip and some flaky sea salt. I get my flaky sea salt from Vancouver Island Sea Salt Company. They harvest the salt right from the shores of Vancouver Island, and it has an unbeatable clean taste, and the flakes are far bigger than the more expensive Malden. I'll leave a link in the description to grab a box of your own. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing so you never miss out on any new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit for more content.